Hey guys, it's me again. It's Evan St. Ford, and thanks for tuning in. Today, I have a real close friend of mine that I wanted to have a candid conversation with. You know, a lot of us wake up every single morning and unfortunately, we're working jobs and doing things that we really are just doing for a paycheck. And a lot of us probably have dreams and aspirations about, other things that we probably would love to do, but unfortunately, we're afraid to do them. And the thing about this guest, my family, my cousin, he was able to take something that he loved to do, and he went ahead and pursued it full throttle to the point now where his clothing brand is hitting markets all over the United States and in Europe. And I'm just so proud because I remember where and how he started. And literally, I mean, you're talking about someone that grew up in Miami, Carol City, self-made individual, didn't come from anything. And he took his dream and aspiration and he was able to put that into existence. And now his clothing brand is everywhere. So today, I want to introduce to you all my cousin, my family, Alex China Gracia, and the name of his clothing brand is I Am Civilized. You got to check it out, man. His stuff is fresh to death. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, his stuff is top shelf, and I just can't wait for you guys to check him out. And today we're going to talk to Alex about, let's just give people a rundown, as far as, like I said, it's hard for people to do what they really love to do, but you're doing something you love doing. And let's start with how is it you were even able to start a clothing brand? Because people, I'm pretty sure, would probably like to know, what does it take to start a clothing brand?
The recipes for my success, is dedication, ambition, and passion. And when I say it's a recipe, because it all has to blend, it has to mesh together, because you have to find your true purpose. I believe everybody's born with a true identity, and it's up to us to figure out as life goes on, who are we and what is our purpose here? I always tell people God makes no mistakes. So when God creates for a purpose. So when you enter this world, God exactly had a purpose for you, and you have to fulfill your destiny. And the hardest thing is when you're going through life and you're growing up, it's your circle. See, as a child, I always tell people the best example is to look at a little child when it's trying to walk. They'll start with crawling, and it'll fall and it'll fall and it'll fall and probably hurt himself or herself. But the concept is never give up until you start walking. Now that child starts walking. Now it wants to run. And now when it starts running, it wants to climb. Now when it starts climbing, it wants to jump. The problem is, as we're growing up, all child wants to be a superhero or wants to be something great. But because of our parents, our culture, our surrounding, the negative influence starts chipping away. So now you went from being a superhero, I can't, because they say you can't be Superman, you can't be Batman, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So now you lost that. Now you want to be a doctor and a lawyer.
Right.
Now, it depends on your circle. They might knock you down or they might push you. Now, your next circle. Now you're in school, you're in elementary, you're in junior high. So my point is, your circle is the most important part of becoming who you supposed to be. You have to keep the right people around you. And that's what happened with me. I give my success to my brother, because coming from where I came from and watching my brother become a doctor lets me know, bro, no excuses, bro.
Right.
You cannot make any excuses now, because you have a brother that's a surgeon. What are you going to do?
Right.
And lucky for me, I always had passion and ambition, which I have to tell you, growing up Haitian and also having Cuban heritage and being Jesperwaz and being migrants coming to the United States, our parents, and I'm happy to say our parents because we're family, our parents had to survive in a country that was not built or designed for them to be successful.
Right.
So you got to understand, they had to penetrate a society and make something out of themselves, at the same time raise a family in a country that they're new to.
Right.
So that right there alone, that synergy and that education that I got from my parents and being a certain type of culture was hard, and also a gift and a curse. And I always say being a Haitian is like, it comes with a gift and a curse. And the reason I say that, growing up in school, I was labeled with every label that you could think of. LD, EH, SED. LD is learning disability. EH, emotional handicap. SED, severe emotionally disturbed. So imagine a 10-year-old all the way up to 16-year-old being labeled throughout the whole education process. Learning disability, EH, emotionally disturbed. So now you're telling me emotionally, I'm fucked. Sorry.
You're categorized.
Yeah, I'm categorized since a kid.
Right.
So you're telling me I'm not normal.
Right.
I'm not even average.
Right.
I'm not going to make it through the education process. So good luck when you grow up. So a lot of people say, how did you get the name China? How did I get the name China? I had to reinvent myself. Imagine I'm in high school. I can't read. I cannot read. I'm in 11th grade, reading on maybe a 5th grade level.
Oh, wow.
Right? I'm in a school that certain people know that I have a learning disability, certain don't. So thank God for fashion, because fashion saved my life.
Okay.
When it came time to go to school, I stayed dripped. I had the freshest clothes because I was designing clothes. I kept my sneakers on fleet. So people wasn't paying attention to me like, yo, this kid has a learning disability. They were more like, yo, that kid is fresh.
Yeah,
he stay fly. So I was hot. My insecurity hid behind fashion.
Gotcha.
And the teachers noticed it. They were like, you get away with murder because you're swag.
Right.
So when it was time to read, I'll raise my hand. I'll go to the bathroom, walk around the hallways, spend 15, 20 minutes, come back, class was over.
Right.
And I knew so many people. I breezed through because they were doing my homework or they were helping me with my assignments. So I breezed through that. Okay. But the good thing that came out of that, I created China. I didn't want people calling me Alex no more. I wanted people calling me China. In the beginning, they were laughing at me. But now they understand because I had to leave Alex behind because Alex was considered a failure.
Gotcha.
And I could not deal with that anymore because psychologically and emotionally, it was screwing with me. Gotcha. Every kid I know on my block was going to school at regular schools. I was going to a special school. Every kid was walking to school. I was on a handicap bus. So when I got into high school and I got freedom to express myself as a normal kid, I was like, yo, Alex gotta go. China's coming in and China's gonna stay fresh. Because the only thing they could say from now on, that kid is fresh.
So that's where the whole, I guess that's where the whole concept of not being in the fashion industry, but because you knew everyone knew you as that hip, fresh individual. So you ran with that.
I ran with that. And that's what got me into the music industry.
Okay.
Because now, okay, let's be honest. Biggie said it. It's either you have a wicked jump shot or you're selling crack rock. Period. Right. We're black.
Right.
And I'm happy
and we're
individuals like
Miami.
You in Miami. That's why individuals like you, my brother, and certain other individuals, I have to give them their flowers because we're not the norm. Like we did things that we're not supposed to. We're not athletes. We're not musicians.
Right.
We're professionals. Right. And on top of that, we understand the value of education.
Right.
So to me, I'm proud to say that, and I'm proud to give flowers to people who deserve it when it comes to that.
And let me just say that too, because unfortunately, a lot of us, focus in on celebrities. Not to say that we shouldn't, but like we were saying earlier, there's just so many individuals like us that are doing it, and nobody's really paying any attention, unfortunately. But there's so much that could be learned if they did take the time and had a conversation with you.
And you could open doors. The same way a celebrity could open a door for you and you're thinking that the celebrities could do so much for you, that's the same way individuals like you could do the same.
Right.
Because to me, it's all about opportunity and creating opportunity.
And you said your network.
And your network is as much as value as your net worth.
Right.
That's why I tell people always network, always shake hands, always introduce yourself, always be open and be receptive, because you don't know who is who and what they want to give.
Right.
And to take it back, so now I got into the music industry, and because that's the only thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried working. And I got a job at Jackson Memorial Hospital. I was a security guard for maybe a year and a half. I would get up and go to work. I would hate going to work. I would make excuses to put on that uniform. Right. I couldn't stand putting on that uniform. So after 1 year of working, I was probably 22 years old. I said, you know what? This is not for me. I looked at my mom. I looked at my girl. I said, look, I'm going to be honest. I tried. You saw me. I woke up every morning. I would did what I was supposed to, but this is not going to work. Okay. I have a calling, and you got to give me the chance to go out there and figure out who I am and what I'm supposed to be. So they agreed. My mom and my girl, they gave me the green light. So I started running around Miami. Let me show you how I did it. I bought a metal briefcase. I got business cards made with my name and my number, right? And at that time, it was two-way pagers. So it was a pager number, and cell phones was creeping. So I would go to every record company and introduce myself and say, don't pay me unless I make you make money. Because I remember one of my mentors say, if you want to be successful, figure out people's problems.
Right, and become the solution.
And become the solution to their problem. That's how you're going to become valuable. Don't go in there telling people what you can do and what you've done.
How much you want.
And how much you want.
Right.
Go in there and ask them a simple question. What's your biggest problem?
Right.
They're going to tell you their biggest problem. Say, I'll be back. And the next time you come back, come with a solution and make sure that solution is
right.
So I would go to all the record labels, and what they caught and they liked about me, and they paid attention a lot about, was I never asked for money. I would come to work and not ask to get paid. I wanted you to put a value on my hard work and my ambition and my passion. Because to me, that was my talent.
Right.
See, I didn't have a jump shot. I didn't have the 4.2 speed, 4.1. Right. I couldn't catch a football. That wasn't my shit. But if you value talent when it comes to passion and ambition and dedication, bro, I'm super talented.
That's you.
That's me. I'm super talented. So Ted Lucas caught wind. E-Class from Po' Boy caught wind. And a gentleman by the name of Jit from Mo Money Management caught wind. And another gentleman by Terry from Aurea Entertainment. Okay. They caught wind. So I started networking with all these companies. And finally, I started sneaking into the music industry, right? So now I'm in the music industry. I don't want to work and be an employee, because Black structure in the music industry, there's really no structure. Okay. So it's not like you get a job, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks and you get insurance, health insurance. It's not like that. Not in all companies. Maybe the corporate, but in the independent level, no, it's every man for yourself. Gotcha. Ready? So my job was to go out, get money, bring it back, and I get a cut, a percentage. It's like management. You get a finder's fee. Mm-hmm. So I started promoting parties. So we had a big party called Florida Step Down, Classic Step Down in Miami. And this is how I met Pitbull. This is how I met Rick Ross. And this is how I met a lot of local up-and-coming artists that's going to become A-list celebrities today. Okay. So this is a process that I've been going through for 15 years, almost 20 years. Okay. So by me promoting shows in Miami, I met Pitbull. Me and Pitbull built a relationship, so we started hanging around. I met Rick Ross, built a relationship, met E-Class, built a relationship. But I wasn't satisfied. The reason I wasn't satisfied because I still didn't have an identity. Gotcha. Because one thing about it is everybody had their own thing going on. Pitbull had his thing going on, Rick Ross had his thing going, and E-Class had their thing going on, Slip and Slide. So I didn't want to be that one person that comes in and try to take over or try to have a chair at the table, and I brought nothing to the table. Right. So I will always try to excel and bring something different, something new. So I would do parties for them. You know, I would take my own money and do parties for Pitbull. I would take my own money and do party for Rick Ross, because I felt if I put money in your pocket, and I'm trying to make money, then that's teamwork.
Yeah.
It's not like you making money and I come to you and say, hey, give me a loan.
Right.
Hey, bro, I got this business opportunity. Invest. No, it was more, look, I got this money. Here's your cut, but I just need you to do this for me so I can make a cut.
Right.
So it worked for a couple of years. And now Pitbull and Rick Ross blew up, especially Rick Ross. Before Pitbull, Rick Ross blew up on a major status. He signed to Def Jam, Jay-Z, and I was around their management team. So I thought I was supposed to be in the music industry, honestly. But then God turned and had a different calling for me. So by me dealing with Rick Ross and trying to get endorsement deals, I fell into a fashion industry because bringing fashion to the artists. I met a gentleman by Hasif and another gentleman by Jeff. Hasif introduced me to Jeff. Jeff is a major player in New York when it comes to fashion. I don't know if you heard of Mud. Mud is jeans and is one of the biggest jean lines in the early 90s and late 90s.
Okay.
And made a lot of money.
Okay.
And Jeff was the manufacturer. So when they introduced me to Jeff, my job was to bring Jeff to the music industry so the artists could wear the clothes and they could build a brand around artists, Hispanics and Black artists in the hip hop culture. But Jeff fell in love with my character because my name is China, my passion, my ambition, and I know so many people. So Jeff looked at me and said, no, we're going to build a brand around you instead of building a brand around the artists. So I agreed. So I spent 3 years in New York building a brand. I learned so much
building
a brand. And the number one lesson I want to share with people, and I'm happy this happened because now I have Civilized. Now I built Civilized from scratch. So I'm happy this happened. Ready? When I was in New York, and this is so important, paperwork. Paperwork is so important, Evans.
Okay.
Because the whole time I was in New York, I didn't have no paperwork and I was building a brand.
For somebody else.
And I believed in that person and that person gave me their word. So for 3 years, I built a brand and this brand was very successful. But you know how people go to college and you have to pay to go to college? This is why I'm so lucky and I believe opportunity meet preparation equals success. That's another formula that I want to share with the viewers and your followers. I'm not the most educated man in the world. I went to the School of Hard Knock University. I had to fall so many times to get up, to get where I am. But I know one thing, this formula right here will always keep you happy and successful. Opportunity meets preparation equals success. You always have to be prepared for opportunity because you don't know when opportunity is going to come. And how do you stay prepared? By mastering your craft. How do you master your craft? You got to spend over 10,000 hours perfecting your craft. That's how you become a master. How do you get this education and knowledge? You need to read books. All the information I'm telling you right now is in books. I had to self-educate myself. I was so hungry. This is the passion and the ambition. Right. Because every time I would go and ask somebody to be my mentor, they would tell me no.
They didn't want to waste their time.
They didn't want to waste their time to educate or to train. That's why I have so much respect for athletes because athletes understand that formula. Opportunity meet preparation equals success. You have to be in the gym.
Yeah.
You got to be like Kobe Bryant. You got to be a Mamba. You got to be
resilient.
When they're partying, you're working. When they're sleeping, you're working.
Right.
You got to put in that hour. You got to put those hours in. And that's what I was doing without me even knowing. Because I was so hungry and so passionate. Anytime I had a moment to do something, to perfect something, even it was just taking a little step or going here, introducing myself, I did it. I was building that character. So when opportunity came, I was prepared for it.
And you ran with it.
That's why when New York came around, I was prepared to deal with New York because I was prepared for it.
So you had no contracts. I guess the company that you were working with, what happened with that?
Basically, we did all the trade shows. We shipped over 3 million. We signed a contract with Foot Locker. The whole South, they gave us 250,000 dozen order. We took over 27 Foot Lockers. Our competition was Tap Out. I don't know if you remember that brand, Tap Out, Ed Hardy and Christian Attiger. And we started manufacturing. I would never forget, my daughter was just born in November. We just finished doing Magic Trade Show. And I came home. I came home for Christmas because of my daughter. I spent 4 days with my daughter. She was born a preemie. She stayed in ICU for almost 2 months. I had to get back to work because we had another trade show in Vegas in January. When we finished doing the trade show in January, we flew back to New York. And this is the first week of February. My partner sat me down and basically told me, it's time to find another job. So it was heartbreaking. That was the first devastating loss that I ever felt in my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like I was suicidal. I went through depression. I just had my daughter. I had no money. I came back home. I was a failure. You got to understand, for 3 years, I built a brand.
Right.
I seen this brand become successful. I seen celebrities about to take off with this brand. And I was the brain behind the brand. Right. The brain, the muscle, the passion, the heart. And for somebody to take it from you because you had no lawyer, no representation, no paperwork, no trademark, no patent. Nothing was under your name. Everything was under his name.
It was just what, he say, she say.
Yes.
Wow.
And then when I went to the people that knew, because they knew who the brand was, and I asked them for help, they all turned their back on me because big bank take little bank, and you never bite the hand that feeds you.
So what made you decide to invest in yourself?
I'm happy you asked that. So I'm sitting in New York. The company apartment, they took it away. They took the car away. They took the credit card away. They gave me half a check. They said, this is your check from now on. Use it wisely. And I called my brother and I called my mom. I said, what do I do? Everybody say, stay in New York because you have so many connections now in New York. Everybody knows you in New York. Just stay in New York, get a job. But my daughter is in Miami and she was born premature, my first kid. So I didn't know what to do. So my heart was telling me come back to Miami. Okay. So I got on a plane and I came to Miami. I'll never forget when I landed in Miami, one of Jay-Z reps hit me up. Jay-Z was performing. The American Gangster album just came out. Jay-Z was performing in Miami and they said, yo, if you're in Miami, why don't you just swing by the concert? So I went by the concert and I watched Jay-Z. And I remember sitting there watching Jay-Z and I'm like, this is the reason why I got into the culture, because I remember watching Jay-Z and Puffy. And one thing about Jay-Z and Puffy, they were bosses.
Right.
They owned their name. They owned their masters. They owned everything. And I sat back there in the theater crying, but crying happy and joy because I was like, you know what? I'm going to invest in me. The only reason this guy took the company away from me because he was investing in the company. So by you investing in the company, you own it.
Right.
And you own everybody that works for the company. So I turned around and said to myself that evening, like, I'm going to own the next venture I get into. I have to have ownership because I watched Pitbull walk away and I put a lot of time and effort into that. I watched Rick Ross and them walk away and I put a lot of time and effort into that. Mm-hmm. And I watched a lot of opportunities, Evil walk away, and I put a lot of time and effort in that. And remember, we was talking about to become a master, you got to put in time and effort. So now I had to figure out where's my time and effort really going to go.
So your passion for the fashion industry, you still had the passion. At that point, did you know I'm sticking with this?
No. I just know whatever it is. I'm thinking, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm thinking I'm coming back to Miami and I'm going to go knock on Rick Ross and them door and put Bull and beg for a job.
Okay.
But I'm going to start a company that's going to work with their company. You get it?
Right.
I didn't think I'm going to go back into fashion. Now I'm on the plane and I'm sitting next to an old lady and I'm flying back and I start crying. And the old lady turned around and asked me, why am I crying? And I explained to her what happened. She said, but you're too civilized. She said, but you're too civilized. Because I really wanted to hurt this man.
Right.
Because you just took something away from me that I really care about. So I really wanted to hurt him. And the only thing that stopped me from hurting him was I was civilized. Right. So when she said, you're too civilized, it clicked.
Right.
So when I got back to Miami, I picked up the phone. I called my brother, right? No, my brother was in Miami. My brother's a doctor, right? And he's doing his residency. I said, yo, I want to start a clothing line. He said, good idea.
Just like that?
He said, good idea.
He didn't say, no, what do you think?
He said, good idea.
He didn't say, you're crazy?
He said, good idea.
Just
Because Gerald already seen what I was doing, bro.
Gotcha.
Gerald saw me hustling in Miami, doing parties. You know how good it feels to have your brother come to a party that you're putting on, and the artist that's performing is Rick Ross, and your little brother has his big brother walking around and everybody's shaking you. Understand.
That's
See,
different.
I value respect more than money.
Right.
And I value memories more than money.
Right.
So all this I'm telling you right now, the reason why I could smile because it makes me feel good. It's bliss. It's happiness.
Right.
So then I called another friend of mine. His name is Gamal. I said, I'm starting a brand. He was like, about time. He said, everything you did for Jeff, do it for you now.
Right.
He said, how much you need? So altogether, I collected maybe $4,000, $5,000 between Gamal, my brother, and my mom. My mom is my business partner. Like, my number one fan is my mom. Okay. Right? So right when I got home, something big happened in January 11. I would never forget it. January 11, 2010. An earthquake devastated the country of Haiti. So when that happened, my brother had to get on a plane with Alonzo Mourning and Project Metashare and UNICEF and fly to Haiti to go ground zero and start
helping out
with medical attention. So I remember my brother getting on the plane an hour after it happened, and he's flying. And as soon as he landed, he called my mom, and he was crying because he said he landed at the airport and all you could smell is dead people. From the time he got off the plane, all he could smell is dead people. So I remember asking my brother, yo, what can I do? Because my cousin flew out there. You're out there. Everybody's out there helping. But I felt like, bro, what can I do? So my brother said, the only thing you could do is raise money. We're going to need money. So I said, okay. I printed some t-shirts that says, I am civilized on the front, and on the back it said, we must, we can, we will rebuild Haiti. We must, we can, we will rebuild Haiti on the back with the company logo. Yo, Evans. All right. I printed, I would say 700 t-shirts. Okay. 350 women, 400 men. Okay. From extra small to extra large for women, from small to XXX for men. At that time, I had a Jeep. I put all the shirts in the back of the Jeep. Mind you, my daughter was just born, Evans. So my daughter's not even 1 year old. So you know what Saturdays and Sunday means when you're a father. Right. So retail is not gonna sell these shirts because it's a Haitian shirt. Right. Understand? So this got to be sold directly to the consumer on a one-on-one basis. Right. Remember how many shirts I told you I had? Evans, I will wake up, Friday from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night. I would get in my Jeep and hit every barbershop and beauty salon in Little Haiti. I will walk in, I would introduce myself to the manager, give him a shirt for free, to ask him, can I sell to his customers? He said, go ahead. I would introduce myself. Hi, my name is Alex. They call me China. I'm raising money for the earthquake that just happened in Haiti. I have a beautiful shirt. It says, we must, we can, we will rebuild. All proceeds will go to half of proceeds will go to Project Metashare. Other half will go to reinvesting into the t-shirts and create more t-shirts to help Haiti. Mm-hmm. How much? 25. Give it to me. Here's 30. Keep the change. How much? How much? How much? How much? I'm selling.
You're just selling.
The barbers, I told the barbers, look, if you don't have money, don't worry, take the shirt. I'll be back next week. So I started doing layaway without even having a brand. Because my object is, I remember my dad taught me this. My dad said, you rather somebody owe you money or don't owe you money? Because I got mad because one of my friends owed me money. And I was like, he never gonna fucking pay me. My dad said, as long as he owe you money, guess what? You got money coming. Right. But if nobody owes you money, you got shit coming. So give that person that credit, because you could always keep calling them and be like, yo, when you gonna pay me, man? So I was giving out credit in the hood. And then I took it from Little Haiti, now I'm going North Miami. Took it to North Miami, now I'm going North Miami Beach. Now everything sold out in 2 months, 2.5 months. Everything sold out. And the happiest moment of my life happened. One day, I'm walking in a grocery store. I see somebody turn the corner, they're wearing the t-shirt. Because I told God, show me a sign, God. Show me a sign that I'm doing the right thing, because you got to understand, Evans, when I wake up on Saturdays at 7 o'clock in the morning and I don't come home till 7 o'clock at night, I didn't see my daughter for that day. So I'm missing one day out of my daughter's life, and she's at the most precious time of her life right now.
Right.
So I used to get mad, bro, when I'm packing the back of that Jeep and hitting the streets. Until I made my first sale, I was mad. It's when I made my first sale, a little bit of happiness will come. Because you know, when you make that transaction, you get happy because now you know you're doing something positive.
Right.
So by 3 o'clock, I already have $400 or $500. You can't stop me. I want to keep going because now I got 400 in my pocket. I'm trying to make 7 or 1,000 before the day's over. You get it?
Right.
So now the passion, the energy becomes excitement.
Right.
But I'm missing my little girl, bro. Missing my little girl. You get it? So now I finished the Haitian shirts. I called my brother, yo, done. Gave my brother what I had to give him. My brother like, yo, keep going. My mom looked at me and said, bro, I don't want my money back.
She's like,
keep going. Everybody looked at me and said they don't want their money back. Keep going. But what am I going to do, Evans?
Right.
What am I going to do, Evans? Haitian shirts for the rest of my life? So I printed some more Haitian shirts because now my market is the Haitian market. You got to understand. I'm from Little Haiti all the way to North Miami Beach.
And your background is Haitian.
And my background is Haitian. And I know how to talk to my people. I know how to deal with my people. And I'm only doing barbershops and beauty salons.
Right. So let's fast forward because we don't have that much time.
My bad.
No, it's fine. Because I know you're passionate, and that's the thing about you. You're so passionate about your product, and that's why it's where it's at today. But let's just go into now where your brand is, because I mean, we already could see you put in a lot of hard work. Now, where's your brand, and where would you like it to go?
My brand now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a very unique brand. Okay, let's start off with it. I Am Civilized. Stands for Socialize, Educate, Refine. Socialize, you are who you hang with. Education, most powerful weapon in the world. Refine, is never too late to make a difference. The acronym for I Am Civilized, CVLZD. The reason I created the acronym because I want to be a brand, like my 5 brands that influence me is, I wanted to be like a Gucci. When I created Civilized, these are the 5 images I had in my head and the 5 brands that I wanted to be like, to influence me, to have that fusion. So Gucci, the reason I wanted to be like a Gucci, because everybody's gonna own Gucci. The most popular brand in the world is Gucci. If you're gonna own a Gucci shoe, Gucci sock, Gucci belt, Gucci something, you're gonna own it. I wanted to be like a Louis Vuitton, the most prestigious luxury brand. Because you gotta understand the difference between a Gucci and a Louis. Gucci's 500, 600, 700.
Right.
Louis Vuitton, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You got to understand the difference of class.
Right.
And the level of class and luxury. But I also wanted to be like a Hugo Boss because I'm a leader. I'm a boss. I love suits. I love to dress for success. Because if you look good, you feel good, you do good.
You can accomplish whatever.
You're going to accomplish a lot. But so I love the Hugo Boss, the boss feel. But I also like Nikes. So I walk like a ball player. I have a swag like a basketball player.
So that's the brand.
That's what makes Civilized.
Gotcha.
So this is the ingredients for Civilized. But Civilized is a brand that when I created it, I wanted to bridge gaps. And me and you are about to have a really good conversation. And I hope this brings us back for another episode in the future. Like I said, being Haitian is a gift and a curse. But I'm also mixed with Latino, Hispanic. In our blood, we have the Spaniard, we have the Portuguese, and we have the Cuban running through our veins. So I had to do research to figure out who I am. For me to create a brand, I got to know where I come from because I don't want to lead people the wrong way, especially my daughter. So I did my ancestry, 23andMe. Now I'm doing the African side. That's why I went to Egypt, and that's why I'm going to Africa a lot, because I want to know where I really come from, because it's bigger than Haiti. And it's bigger than Cuba, because they took us and they brought us there. So that's not really ours. We made it ours. Right. So that's another subject. So when I created Civilized, I wanted to bring my people together, because I remember going to parties and I know you vouch it. Some stay on this side, some stay on that side. Some people don't want to talk. I don't got time for that, bro. So when I created Civilized, I wanted to bring the Latinos and the Hispanics and the Africans together under one brand and create a culture and a movement.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, majority rules. And we're stronger together than we are separated.
Right.
So when you see me and you see this brand and you see me walking, you don't have to cross the street. You don't have to think I'm a drug dealer. You don't got to think I'm a basketball player. You don't got to think I'm a football. I finally created a brand that has a voice, that has an opinion that could state its own without me even having to talk, Evans.
Right, right.
Because when I wear Civilized, that should let you know I'm a civilized man. And it's not what I do for a living. It's not how much money I make. It's the way I carry myself.
Got you.
So that's why now this brand right now is super important for this culture. Like right now, we're popping in Ecuador, we're popping in Puerto Rico, we're popping in Santo Domingo. Not only are we popping in the United States, a little bit on the East Coast, now we're branching into the Midwest, Chicago, Detroit, and Pennsylvania. We're also on the West Coast. But my dream, and when I say my dream, actually it's my goal, is controlling the manufacturing part, the quality.
The quality.
Because it's all about quality.
It's all about the
Because
quality.
if you want people to keep coming back, they got to understand that when they're spending their hard-earned money, they're getting something that's value.
Right.
So it's all about the quality.
So let's tell people, Alex, where can they pick up the Civilized merch? If I wanted to pick it up, where can I get it? Let's tell them.
Number one place to get it is shopcivilized.com. So it's shopcivilized.com, which is SHOPCVLZD.com. And you can find us on all major platforms, social media platform. I Am Civilized, I-A-M, Civilized, C-I-V-I-Z-E-D, and Shop Civilized on major platform. And you can also find us in retail. Any fashion district in any city that you go to, just find the number one boutique, like in Miami Shoe Gallery. We're at the Webster in Miami Beach, Shoe Gallery, downtown Miami. Down south, we're at Attic, and Wynwood, we're at Attic, Addictive, Attic in Wynwood, New York. We're so many Atrium. There's so many places that we are. But when you do go, please make sure you understand that. Feel the brand. Talk to the representatives at the retail store. Make sure they know that you're there picking up the brand and how you feel about the brand. Because like I say, this brand has substance. And this is what separates us from like a Kith. This is what separates us from a Supreme. This is what separates us from everybody, because this brand has substance. This brand will speak for you.
Well, let me just say, I'm super happy. I'm super proud. Again, I mean, Alex China has taken, something that he was really passionate about, and he just took it to a whole new level, which is crazy because, again, we all have dreams, aspirations, but the difference is, are you going to take that step to actually try and accomplish what it is you want? And he is a perfect example of someone that was passionate about something, and he took it to a whole another level where he invested in himself, and now his brand is going global. I mean, I can only imagine, I personally have his clothing, and I'm telling you, it's top notch. So I just know it'll just be within a short few, who knows, but this brand is gonna be huge. So take advantage of it now. And Alex, I'm really happy that you came through today.
I'm excited.
We're gonna have to do another video because I know you have so much more knowledge that you could drop on them.
Sure, of course.
But it'll have to be.
I also want you to tell them that this started since 2008.
2008.
And we're 2022.
And he's been working at it.
Persistence. Never gave up. Plenty of times, Evans, crying, being called crazy, being called stupid.
No, I know. I know.
But it was all about fulfilling my destiny and figuring out who I wanted to be, not what people wanted me to be.
Exactly. Well, thanks again, guys, for checking us out. And like I said, we're going to have to do a second interview with Alex at some other time, but I'll see you on the next one.